Devontae, thank you for joining us here today.
How you doing?
Great. I'll let you make an opening remark if you'd like, and then we'll turn it over to questions and answers from the media.
We can just get to the questions.
All right. We will get things rolling then. We will start with Cameron Buford.
Hey, Devontae. Will you talk about what it would mean to you and your family for you to win the Heisman Trophy Award tomorrow?
Right now, I'm not really worried about the Heisman Trophy. I'm just trying to come in with the team this week and just look forward to getting onto the game plan for Ohio State.
Hey, Devontae. Okay, well, I'll try a little different version of a Heisman question for you. Do you look at yourself as sort of like representing all receivers? In other words, receivers don't usually win this award. They often don't get even to be a finalist. Amari Cooper did, but it's not that often. Do you take some pride of sort of like representing not just yourself, but receivers?
I guess you can say that, just showing that it really just the person that goes out and just puts in the work, they're going to get the things that they deserve. So if you work for things, you're going to get the things that you deserve.
Next up, we'll hear from Mark Stallworth. Mark.
How you doing, Devonta? Welcome to Miami. Just had a question. It seems like you're very familiar with playing in Hard Rock Stadium. So could you explain, I guess, having your last game here at the Orange Bowl, and how do you plan on utilizing that familiarity with the field to your advantage this week?
It really don't matter what we play at. Just spot the ball. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Next up will be Pat Murphy. Patrick.
Devonta, I'm curious just what you've seen from Ohio State's secondary, specifically Shaun Wade. He came back this year to kind of prove himself. And I'm curious your perspective on what he's done and the matchup that you guys will have with that secondary.
I really haven't watched film yet. I haven't got the chance to watch film yet. I'm going to kind of dig into it today. So hopefully I get into it today and I can see some things that interesting for us.
All right. Next, we'll hear from Steve Mouton. Steve Mouton.
Hey, Devontae, congratulations on a successful season. I can't help but want to ask really where you got that team before me kind of mentality, because we obviously hear it in these answers. So tell me a little bit of your background and why the team mentality kind of is ingrained in you.
Just because you're not out there playing by yourself. With team success comes individual success. So if the team's doing good, then everybody's doing good, and that's what it all comes down to.
Okay. Next, we'll hear from Scott Rabels. Scott.
All right. Can you hear me? Sorry for that. You've always been a big part of the offense going back to your freshman year, but with Jalen getting hurt earlier this year, how did that change your role, or did it change your attitude and feeling like I have to be more of a contributor to this offense or a leader in this offense?
Well, just me being the competitor I am, I want to just do whatever I can to help the team, and that's what it came down to. Just everybody on the offense feel like they can do more to help the team, and that's what we all been trying to do.
All right. Next up, we'll hear from Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, Devontae, you remember that 2018 team that was undefeated to this point in the season and didn't finish the way you wanted in California. How is that a motivating factor this week to keep this legacy of this team, undefeated, as opposed to a team that came this close and almost got there?
The past is the past. Nothing we can do about it now. We're just focusing on this week and how we can prepare for this game and just make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Next up, we'll hear from Joseph Goodman. Joseph?
Mute. Yeah. Hey, Devontae, congratulations on the amazing season. I was hoping you could talk to me a little bit about how the power of believing in yourself has shaped your life. And also, I wanted you to kind of clue me into when you got your when you got your last growth spurt. I think you went from 125 at some age when you were in high school. Was this right? I was reading back through some stories.
I don't remember, but it was probably somewhere around that.
How has the power of believing in yourself then shaped your life?
Just you gotta believe in the things you do. If you don't believe in it, then why are you doing it? You can't just be out here doing something that you don't believe in. So you put your mind to some things, and eventually it's gonna happen.
How many people told you you couldn't be a football player?
I heard it a lot all my life.
Thanks.
Next, we'll hear from Luke Krause. Luke?
Hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. Coming into the college football playoff, Ohio State had some disrespect to the program, with people saying they do not deserve to get in. Were y'all looking ahead to Clemson playing in the national championship? And was it a shock to you that Clemson lost and you'll now have to face Ryan Day's Ohio State?
I mean, I'm not part of the committee, so I have no say-so in who they put in or who they wanted to put in. At the end of the day, we just show up here, practice, and get ready for whoever the next opponent is.
Next up will be Jeff Spiegel. Jeff?
Yes, Devontae. Last year's Citrus Bowl, how important do you think that game was in terms of a launching off point for this 2020 team?
I think it was very important just to give everyone something to think about of how like the season went, and it wasn't where we wanted to be, but just to end everything on a good note to kind of be like, okay, we see what next year is going to look like, and we know what we have to do to get things right.
We have time for 2 more questions. The next will be from Mike Rodak. Mike?
Devontae, how did Sark break the news that he was going to Texas, and what was the reaction among players?
We had a meeting. Coach Saban told us about it. I mean, everybody's happy for Coach Sark. I mean, that's part of the business, but he's going to be here with us throughout this last game, and we're trying to finish things the right way.
And our final question today will be from Rob Aller. Rob?
Hey, Devontae, the Nick Saban you see is not the Nick Saban we see. If you had to describe him to somebody on the outside, how would you do that?
He's very funny. It may not seem like it to y'all, but he has a sense of humor.
Do you have an example of that? And how often do you see it?
Every day at practice. It's always every day at practice.
All right. Thank you very much, Devontae. Best of luck. We'll see you later in the week. We will wrap up today with Patrick Surtain, who'll be joining us here momentarily.
There we go.
Hello, Patrick. Thank you for joining us here today. We'll open up here to questions and answers. We'll start today with Bill Rabinowitz. Bill, please go ahead and ask a question.
Took a second for that to pop up. When you watched Ohio State's offensive performance on Friday, whether it was live or on video, what were your impressions and how much of a challenge is that going to be for you guys?
They're very dominant in the passing game and the run game. Very balanced, very efficient. We know it's going to be a challenge. We're just going to have to go in the film room and prepare like we need to.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Charlie Potter. Charlie?
Yeah, hey Pat. Just wanted to ask you about Mac and Smitty. Just how happy are you guys for them to be Heisman finalists, and what's it been like for you as a defensive player to go up against them too this year?
They probably not as excited as we are, but as a team, we're very excited for them. They deserve it. A very prestigious award. You know, they worked hard for it, and we're just excited for it tomorrow. You know, whoever wins it, we're gonna be happy for them. You know, just going against some guys every day, you know, it makes me better as a football player, but it also taught me, like, you know, going against guys like that, when you go on the field, it makes you 100 times better on game day. So, you know, it was a great opportunity for me. And, you know, with that individual success comes team success as well. Without the team, you know, we never would have known about those awards like that. So, you know.
Next, we'll hear from Nathan Baird. Nathan?
Hey, Patrick, how does it help you as a defensive player to play for a team with an offense that can put up 50 or more against anybody?
It's very helpful. I say our offense helps us sometimes. You know, we just go in and prepare like we need to, but knowing the offense, the type of offense we have, we're not anxious or very upright at all, knowing what they could do and what they're capable of.
Next, Dennis Dodd. Dennis?
Hey, Patrick, where's this team at if Najee turns pro last year?
Say it again.
Where is this team at if Najee decides to turn pro last year instead of coming back?
Oh, you know, we was when he came back, we were all very, very excited. You know, he's a very good player. But if he wasn't here, you know, we had to look to the drawing board, and I'm pretty sure whoever steps in will do great as well. So.
Next, Patrick Murphy. Patrick?
Patrick, I'm curious how much you've watched of Ohio State's receiving core, specifically Chris Olave, who obviously had the big game against Clemson, what you've seen out of that group.
They're very finesse type of receivers. They got speed, they're vertical threats, but they also run great routes. It's going to be a challenge for us as a secondary and as a unit. So we go and watch film on them and prepare like we need to focus on, you know, their concepts and what they like to do.
Next, we'll hear from Tim May. Tim?
Thank you very much. I was wondering, Patrick, as you watched Justin Fields, I would think you watched a little bit of that game the other night. Maybe you didn't, but, you know, he got hit in the back, came back in that game, threw for over 300 yards against those guys. And just what's your impression of Justin Fields, both from what you've heard about him through the last couple of years and then coming out of that game on Friday night?
He's a high competitor. You know, he leads the team the right way. You know, they go off of him. And for him to come back in the game, that just shows, like I said, what type of competitor he is and what type of toughness he has. And their team success, you know, builds around him. So, you know, he's a great player all in all.
Next, we'll hear from Stephen Means. Stephen?
Hey, Patrick. Pre-injury, how did going against Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith in practice every day, that combination of a slot receiver and an outside receiver, maybe prepare you for what you're going to see against Ohio State with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave?
You know, going against those guys every day in practice, you know, it's like a game day type of situation. So, like, every time I go against them, I treat it like a game, like situation, like I said. And it helps me prepare for the game, you know, because you're going to see talent like that in the game. But it doesn't get any better than that, what you go against in practice. So, it helps me get better and see what I could improve on and stuff like that.
Next, we'll hear from Ashley Herman. Ashley?
Hey, Pat, I know you probably are thinking about this, but, playing at home, how much does that mean to you, and where does it fall in your mind? Is it staying in the back of your mind, or where's that fall in importance?
It's pretty exciting, to play back at home. But it doesn't matter where we play at. We still got to play 60 minutes of the football game, and focus on what we need to do and control what we need to control. So I'll say it's another game, and just no matter the setting or no matter where it's at, we still got to play.
Next, we'll hear from Dan Hope. Dan?
Hey, Patrick, you guys have had a couple games against Ole Miss and Florida where your defense gave up a lot of points. Just what do you think went wrong for your defense in those games, and does that concern you at all going to play at an offense like Ohio State?
Going to those games, I felt like we wasn't as communicative as we needed to be. We wasn't flying around. We gave up big plays due to mental errors and stuff like that. Things that we can improve on in the film room and in practice. And, we just focus on and control on what we need to do to improve each week. So looking forward to this game. Nothing's changed. We just got to, focus and prepare the right way.
Thank you. Next is Bill Rabinowitz. Bill?
Yes, I already asked my question, but I will ask another one. What stands out to you the most about Justin Fields?
His arm. Got a tremendous arm. He's very accurate as well. He could put the ball wherever he needs to, and he's very mobile in the pocket. He's a virtual threat. He could beat teams multiple ways with his arm and legs. So, he's a good player.
Next up, we'll hear from Anthony Euro. Anthony?
Hey, Pat, so talk about coming back home. What's the feeling of knowing that family and friends are going to be there to watch you play at Hard Rock?
It's going to be a tremendous feeling. Having them come and support me back at home, it'd be a great feeling. I just got to show out and make them happy, make them proud,
Yeah, and one more question for you. How does it feel, to give any advice to anybody from South Florida to be in the position that you are today?
I just say work hard. And, South Florida, there's talent everywhere. So your name will get called and you will be on a bright stage like this. So, just keep working and keep striving to perfection,
And our final question for today is from Steve Mouton. Steve?
A lot of questions about the secondary heading into the season, and certainly you've elevated your game. There's no doubt about that. But I'm curious to get your thoughts on Brian Branch and really what you've seen development-wise out of him.
Brian, he grew each week, and he's gotten better. He's more confident out there. He's not a freshman anymore. Going into the season like this, he's a sophomore, a vet, and he's playing like it too. The more and more you see each week of him, he gains more confidence, and you can see it in his play. So, the sky's the limit for him, and he's a hard worker. So you can't take that away from him. So he's gonna keep on striving for greatness.
Thank you very much, Patrick.